Hey everyone, this is Jack. This is going to be a quick bar-by-bar review for the S&P 500 micro futures contract for Monday, July 27th, 2026. I'm going to start with the daily chart. We've been in a trading range for a few months. We're starting to get a bear breakout here. We have a trend line, and we just broke it. We have another trend line here that we broke. But we're finding buyers around these lows, so it's very likely that if we sell off today, very likely buyers below any of these swing points for a bounce. And if we rally, very likely sellers above. We have a lot of selling pressure up here, not very good looking buy signal bars, so it's very likely there are sellers above. So that means that today it would be very likely that there would be a trending trading range day or bear trend or possibly a reversal around the middle of the day if we sell off aggressively or if we rally aggressively. All right, so let's go make the bars bigger. All right, first bar of the day, we have a big gap up. It's about an average day's range, and the first bar is a bear doji. Very likely sellers not far above. We'll probably get sideways to down, but better to wait for a few bars. And bar two broke out above, pulled back. Likely we'll go below 2. Will we find buyers below 2, below 1, or will we find buyers at 2 and go above 2? Bar 3, we have a big bear breakout bar. It's a large bar, big risk, pretty early in the day. So it's a dangerous sell or close bar, but reasonable. Probably we're going to go sideways to down. Then 4, pulled back into the range of 3, tested the breakout point on 1, pulled back. It's a small, weak bull bar, probably sellers at and above the bar for another push down. And then bar 5 is a signal bar for the stop entry short. Looks reasonable, probably reasonable to sell and sell more higher, but this early in the day, this could be part of a trading range day. And if we reverse up on the next bar, we would have a micro double bottom and a possible big double bottom. So we could test up into the range of 2, but likely more sideways to down. And then bar 6, a statement by the bears that they're strong and willing to sell and sell aggressively. We have very small tails on 3 and very small tails on 6, and that increases the odds of more sideways to down. So probably always in short, probably going lower, and reasonable to sell here and sell more above. Bar 7, a small bull doji, not enough to undo this sell-off. And then another on 8, possibly a final flag. Bar 6 was pretty climactic, and it's a big bar. Increases the odds that we have a deep pullback, but we do have an open gap, and if we break below this low, odds are we're in a bear trend and not in a trading range. So probably reasonable to sell here and sell more higher if we do pull back. The bulls would need to have a pretty convincingly strong bar to undo this sell-off, and they don't have it. Instead, we have bar 9, tail below the bar, but probably part of another leg down, so reasonable to sell here and sell more higher. 10, we pulled back, but a pause. Probably we go sideways to down, maybe buyers below, but always in short, and it is not a good buy. Bar 11, we broke to the downside. We have 3, maybe 4 legs down. We'll probably find profit taking soon. It looks like we're aiming for the close of the prior day. I imagine we'll get there before we have a meaningful correction. You can see a trend channel line that we're starting to break out of, and that increases the odds that we go a little bit lower, but very likely we'll find profit taking soon. Still always in short, reasonable to sell here and sell more on a pullback. And then bar 12 looks like a climax. 2 of the biggest bars in this whole trend, so very likely buyers down here for a bounce. Small follow-through bar, 13, probably going at least a little bit lower, but very likely to bounce soon. And then 14, a bull doji, not enough to undo the sell-off, but probably a signal that we're going to get a couple of legs sideways to up soon. And then 15, another climactic bear bar. New low of the day, very likely sellers above, but we'll probably enter a trading range soon. We're near the low of yesterday. Actually, let me go ahead and, I don't think I have that on this chart. Let me go ahead and add it real quick. The prior day's prior day low, prior day close, prior day open or prior day high. So we have yesterday's high, yesterday's low. 14 is testing that price. 15 is trying to break out, but we may find buyers here. Remember, the daily chart had 2 doji bars for the last 2 trading days, and those are bad sell signals. So it's very likely that we'll get some buying pressure down here. Also, we have the hourly chart, and the first bar of the hour is a huge bear bar. In fact, let me show you real quick. Hourly chart here. First bar is here. So it looks like we have a wedge bear flag. We have a very strong sell-off. We're testing near a trend line for the bear flag, but this first hourly bar of the day decreases the odds that we get a measured move down and increases the odds that we get a pullback. So it's very likely that we'll start to pull back soon. So 15, still always in short, probably going lower, probably not the low of the day, but we'll probably go sideways to up in a trading range very soon. And then bar 16, we have a micro double bottom, 14, 16, pretty strong buy signal bar, but odds are the first reversal up will be minor. We'll probably find sellers above, but we have a good entry bar for the bulls, probably going at least a little bit higher, probably buyers not far below the low of 17, and then 18, bit of a surprise, and a climax. Strong breakout bar. We have a parabolic wedge. Are we always in long? I don't know. We might be. I think we're at a minimum in a trading range, and the bulls will probably get a second leg. But I think we're overall in a bear trend day. And with this rally, I think we're probably more likely in a bear trending trading range day, which means that we'll probably go sideways to down or sideways to up for the remainder of the day. This is enough buying pressure, and it's undoing enough of this sell-off that it makes it likely that if we do get back down to the low of the day, we'll probably find buyers down here. But right here, it's very likely that bears are selling into this rally, and it's very likely that we'll get a deep pullback and create a trading range here. Very unlikely that this micro double bottom will lead to a major reversal up into the open of the day. Very unlikely. Sideways here, probably buyers not far below, probably sellers scaling in above the highs here. And then 20 outside down, decent signal bar for the short, possible micro double top, trapped and disappointed bulls. Maybe buyers below for a second leg up, but they may not come in until somewhere down here. Probably reasonable to think about selling here. And then we pulled back, retested up near the highs and the high close, and pulled back on 21. Very likely sellers at and above this bar for a test down. Very likely the bulls get a pullback. Probably buyers in the buy zone for a trading range. And then bear breakout 22 with a big tail. Strong enough breakout for a second leg for sure. The tail is likely part of a pullback, so probably sell the close and sell more higher if it pulls back more. This could be all the pullback that the bulls get, and we may get a second leg up from this rally. But it doesn't seem quite symmetrical to me. I think that the bears need to get a little bit more down to undo the selling pressure before the bulls are more interested in buying. I think that because the bear breakout bar is strong enough, the bulls would probably want to buy lower and scale in below the low rather than buy around the midpoint, because it's likely with this amount of strength that we're going to get down here rather than just rally from this point on. Another bear bar, but an inside bar, maybe buyers below, but dangerous. I think there's enough selling pressure here that increases the odds that whatever pullback we get here will likely be minor, and we'll get another push down below 22. And like I said, we probably need to test down here before the bulls are more eager to buy, so probably still going lower. 24, probably sellers, and then 25, bear breakout. Second or third push down since 20, maybe buyers down here, but I imagine we go at least a little bit lower, probably down to the low close on 15. This is probably not the low of the day. And then 26, we broke to a new low of the day, and we have a big tail. So we have 1, 2, maybe 3 legs down, a double bottom with 15, a tail here, a tail there, strong buying pressure here, climactic sell-off on the open, increases the odds of a trading range here, probably buy the close and buy more below. I wouldn't do that, but I think that that's probably what's going to happen. Bull bar, strong enough signal for second leg, but probably buyers more likely around the low close and below this bar than at the close, so reasonable to sell here. And then 28, Probably we go at least a little bit lower, but probably buyers not far below. And a micro double bottom, a big double bottom. Very likely that we're going to rally up to the top of the trading range soon, but enough selling pressure that whatever rally we get may be sold first before we get up here. And if the bears are strong enough, we may not even get up here. So far, they look pretty strong. They're not letting the bulls get much above the highs of any of these bars, and we didn't break above the high of any of these bars. So it's very likely whatever pullback we get here is going to be minor. We'll probably make a new low of the day. Probably 26 is also not the low of the day. 30. Second entry long, but bad context. Probably sellers not far above. Looks like a bear flag to me. Probably is on a smaller time frame. Bull breakout, but probably sellers not far above 25. And then pullback and some follow through on 32. But again, not really what you want to see if you're hoping for a rally that tests up to here. So probably we pull back and test down into the buy zone of the trading range. Outside down, strong enough for a second leg for sure. Reasonable to sell here, sell more on a pullback, but climactic and probably buyers somewhere down here. So it's scalp at best. And then 34, breakout pullback short, but bad context. We tested near the low closes and bounced. We have a higher low. If we find buyers here, this might lead to a second leg up from the rally since 26. 35, probably going higher. Probably still always in short, but in a trading range, we'll probably test up to here. And then 36, surprise bull breakout. We're testing up near the high close on 19, pulling back, pretty big tail. This is 2 or 3 pushes up. Very likely sellers here and above. Scaling into shorts, expecting a trading range and another leg down from this. But probably going at least a little bit higher. Pretty strong surprise. Not all that convincing. The close is right around this swing point. Why isn't it far above? And that's because that there's a lot of scalpers and bears initiating shorts here. Follow through, but inside bar and a doji, probably sideways, and then another. Probably we go above the high and test up to here, only to find sellers. Unless the bulls are surprisingly strong, that might flip the market to long. But then probably sellers above up here. Sorry about that. So probably better to wait. And then bear breakout. We couldn't even make it above 38. Sellers above 37. We're getting a bear breakout. We're in a trading range near the top. We have a lower low on 26, a lower high on 36. It's reasonable to think about selling here and selling more on a pullback. Probably better to sell the pullback. 40. Didn't quite make it to the high close and we sold off. Probably reasonable to get short here. And then 41, testing the low close, 34. Probably we go at least a little bit lower. It's 2 or 3 legs down. Probably buyers not far below 34. And then 42, doji follow through bar. Maybe we go a little lower, but probably buyers below these lows. And then 43, bear breakout, but third push down. Very likely buyers here. New low of the day, but what happened here when we got a new low of the day? What do you think is going to happen here? Probably buyers. 44, doji, not enough to undo the sell-off, but probably buyers not far below. And then follow through. Probably not always in long, but possible double bottom. Probably sellers around the midpoint of the sell-off or maybe above 43. But if the bulls get some strength here, that might scare the bears out of their shorts, and they'll probably wait to sell higher somewhere up there. Another push down, new low of the day, 46. But tail makes me think we'll find buyers here and bounce, possible micro double bottom, and then bull bar, but weak, probably more sideways. And then bear bar, tight trading range, probably better to wait for the breakout. And then here it is, big bull bar, 49. Probably going higher, probably we get a second leg up. But very likely sellers here, scaling into shorts. Probably better to think about selling up here in the sell zone of the trading range. So probably temporarily always in long. Reasonable to buy here and buy a pullback of 50. It's a reasonable pullback, but we may go below the bar, so you'd have to use a wide stop, but it's reasonable. Possibly a pullback for 50, but probably bulls get a second leg up. 52, sellers above. Didn't quite make it to that high close, but probably buyers not far below 51, and then instead buyers at the close. 2 or 3 pushes up, could be a wedge, bear flag, possibly sellers here, but I imagine we go at least a little bit higher. We pulled back, tested the breakout point, rallied, follow through. We probably go a little bit higher, but this rally isn't that impressive. Doesn't look like a major reversal to me. Bear bar, probably sideways. Probably retest the high close on 54. Probably sellers above 55. And then 56, doji. I imagine we go sideways to down here. And then 58, bear breakout. I imagine we go a little bit lower, but we may need to retest the high close on 54. So we get this bull bar. Looks like a tight trading range to me. Probably sideways to down for the rest of the day, but starting to get some buying pressure here, so we may not get that far if we break out. 60, probably sellers not far above, and then bear bar. 2 legs down, probably buyers not far below, but probably sideways to down. 62, a pause, probably another bear bar instead of bull bar. I imagine sellers not far above. 64, reasonable signal for the short. Probably buyers not far below. 63, starting to develop a tight trading range. Surprise bull breakout. Getting kind of late in the day. A little less reliable to predict what will happen towards the end of the day. To me, we're getting up into the sell zone of the trading range. We might be in a broad bear channel, so probably sellers here and above. I would not be buying. I don't think it's convincingly always in long, so I would be flat, waiting to sell. Follow through, 66. I don't think it's major enough still. This looks like a climax, and we're retesting the high close. Might test up to here, but I imagine we go sideways to down soon. And then good signal bar for the short. I'd be interested in selling here, selling a little bit more higher, using a wide stop. 68. Looks like a bear trap, but I imagine we go sideways to down. Bad follow through. I imagine we go lower. And then looks like a micro wedge to me. I imagine sellers not far above. Good follow through initially for the bulls, but we probably still go sideways to down. 72, probably a micro double top. And then reversal 73, but weak. I imagine we go lower. And then 74, bear breakout, probably sell the close. Pause, probably going lower. 76, buyers not far below, but probably sellers above. And then looks like mostly sideways, probably the rest of the day. 78. Yep, just mostly sideways. So overall, we have a bear trending trading range day. And pretty interesting day overall. I found it difficult to short during the sell-off. I only took one small scalp in here. And then I sold during this rally. Got out here. I think I sold again somewhere over here and got out. And I think that's all I did. But difficult for me to trust the follow through when the bars are big and climactic like this. We do have gaps in here, but to me, the gaps don't quite mean as much when the bars are climactic like that, because look at how much of the sell-off was undone in 15 minutes. This rallied, the low here was 26. The high here was 57. I mean, we rallied 25 points in 15 minutes. So anyways, interesting day. If you like this, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.